for you. I got a bunch of random articles, nothing too crazy. Y'all know, end of the week, the articles be kind of weak. They not as good. Yeah, he gave the Mickey history. The articles is not as good. But I got a few interesting things that are kind of all over the place. Yeah, that page was taken out the history book. So last stream, no Warren Bosley say. Last stream we talked about one thing that's going on in the GTA community that's pissing people off. Yo, shout out to God Screwface with the 5 gifted subs. Run it up. Run my subs up. Let's hit the sub goal. Don't let a black man fail. Last stream we talked about the GTA community being upset with GTA because first it started with the GTA Plus, the subscription service that Ronan loves to defend to death. Man, be excited for some digital money, a monthly allowance. But recently something that happened this week was a new feature that I guess the community has been asking for the longest has finally been added to the game. Now, what is that feature? That feature is allowing players to take the money that they make in the game and move that money to their bank account via their phone instead of, like, I don't know, hard depositing it or whatever. Seems like a very simple quality of life change, right? Cool. The issue is they locked that feature behind GTA Plus, so now you had to subscribe to get a basic quality of life feature that takes nothing to patch into the game. Not some crazy DLC, some mind-blowing revelation, new game mode. No. You want to move your money from your pocket through your phone to your bank account, you got to pay for the subscription service. So I said in that stream, I said they are testing the waters. It started with GTA Plus. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Rockstar, first of all, GTA Online for GTA 5 is not the first online component. It was in GTA 4, and I also think there was a mod for San Andreas. But this is not the first time they've incorporated online in their gameplay. It was always a secondary thing. Grand Theft Auto has always been a story-driven game. But something happened that they could not have. I don't think they predicted this. I think they thought they were going to be successful. They knew what they were cooking up, but they didn't know they were cooking up crack. They didn't know it was this. They didn't know they had blue magic on them, okay? So they've been milking the fuck out this game for the last 10 plus years. And now, I'm not saying it'll happen. I'm just saying, remember where you heard it here first. On this stream. You either live long enough to die. No, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. It started with GTA Plus. Now they're charging for basic quality of life features like moving your cash. These are all little tests. And I think it's all going to come in a culmination with GTA 6. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's going to come in a culmination with GTA 6. And we have some more evidence to back it up. In this article from PC Gamer, it says, it was so much of a cash cow former GTA 5 dev implies ill-fated Agent Trevor DLC was sacrificed at the altar for GTA Online, further proving what I was talking about at the beginning of my monologue. Remember, some of you are not old enough to remember, Grand Theft Auto has always been a story-driven game. It's about the single-player experience, but something happened. They saw how much money they were making with GTA Online, and kudos to them, because a smart businessman knows when to make a pivot. That's what you do. But it would seem, and this is the second time I've seen an article like this, there was DLC planned for GTA, but they threw it in the trash. Let's find out. There was a time, man, get to the fucking article. According to former developer Joe Rubino, who worked on GTA 5 as a virtual cinematographer and senior camera artist, GTA Online was so successful that it helped sync plans for a DLC focused on Trevor. This sounds a whole lot like the James Bond Trevor DLC that was data mined by players, then later confirmed to have once been in development by Trevor's voice actor Steve Ogg. In an interview with Son in Play's YouTube channel, Rubino says that after the game released, a lot of the team went to do Red Dead Redemption right after, and I kind of took on this other project that was just a standalone DLC for GTA that never came out, and it was kick-ass. It was really, really good, but you know what happened? When GTA Online came out, it was so much of a cash cow, and people were loving it so much that it was hard to make an argument that a standalone DLC would outcompete that, Rubino alleges. I think looking back now, I would say that you could probably do both, you know, and I agree. I understand it. It is smart. They saw how much money they were making with GTA Online, and they said, we should put a little bit more of our resources here. But they should have also allocated some resources to the DLC to stand in the good faith of gamers. I mean, Shadow of the Erdtree sold 5 million the first week, which goes to show you there's still, if you put the effort forward, there's still money to be made in the single player space. What up, Ace? So they could have made even more money with the online and the DLC. That was a business decision that they made, and I was a little upset about that, and that was actually a lot of the reason for me being a little sour at the time. Rubino goes on to say that we went about probably halfway through it and then put a pause on it because GTA Online was just so people were going crazy. They were halfway done with the DLC, which means don't be surprised if there was ever a leak and somebody actually leaked. That means some missions were done. Yeah, when things get bad with monetization, I'm going to buy GTA 6 for the story only. Shit's crazy. Despite GTA Online drawing, deservingly so, of fans for various paywalls and cash grabs over the year, Rubino at least attributes the cancellation in part to a high workload after all. Very political to say. How convenient. No. It had nothing to do with how much money we were making. We were just overworked. After all, Rockstar was to credit developing Red Dead Redemption 2 at the time. Look, like we worked a lot, man. Like for 6 or 7 years, we were the first line of defense for story, mocap, editing, and a lot of the teams around us would develop from that. I've gone ahead and reached out to Rockstar for a comment, and we will update the article if I receive a response. Probably not. That Rockstar doesn't really talk to the media. Shout out to Graffiti Gaming with the sub. I appreciate it. So we have more evidence that keeps piling up. That was once a great thing. GTA Online is starting to become a menace. So now that we have more evidence, GTA Plus, we're locking features behind paywalls, constant stories of canceled DLC. This is all tests for GTA 6. Once again, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying if we take a look at the data suggests that Rockstar might live long enough to become the next devil. Once again, I'm going to keep repeating myself because motherfuckers love to take shit out of context. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying the data suggests don't be shocked if Rockstar becomes the devil when GTA 6 comes out and the game is ruined by it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Don't be shocked. I hope it ain't true. But this shit is getting kind of annoying. Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. This shit is getting kind of annoying. Money blinds everybody. And they've been printing money hand over fist. Why work harder when you can work smarter? It's harder to put together something that's very well thought out. Like a DLC, story plan DLC versus let's just drop new cars. Let's add TDM. Let's add some new shoes. Just throw it up, a quick update, charge them $20. Motherfuckers is buying it. Y'all making custom servers. What happens is you get blinded by that easy money, though. So we gonna see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. That's the story I got for you for GTA. He said, let's add the streamers. Streamers, content creators, they play a role in things, but ultimately, because they influence the masses, but ultimately it is your decision to spend your money. Ain't nobody holding a gun to your head and telling you need to buy the latest gun in X-Defiant or Grand Theft Auto, whatever live service game you're into. Other news I got for you. Yo, shout out to Dave Munzel with the Get the Subs. I appreciate you. Motherfuckers about to charge VC to go to the strip club. Pretty much. They selling police cars now for $3 million. Gross. Netflix's Horizon live action show reportedly will not be moving forward. Let's read along. Sony camp takes another L. In 2000, I wonder if it's because not enough people. Because remember, Sony ponies, they don't buy games. They just talk about them in Twitter spaces. I wonder if it's because of sales. Let's see. In 2022, Netflix and Sony set up a series adaptation of the Horizon video game from the Umbrella Academy showrunner Steve Blackman. But in the wake of workplace misconduct allegations against Blackman for his conduct on the Umbrella Academy, Horizon may no longer be happening at Netflix. Say it ain't so. So it has nothing to do with sales. It has. I made a joke on Twitter because I didn't read the article. I just read the headline. I saved it for the stream so I could get the raw reaction. But I made a joke speculating, basically like, oh, I wonder if it's because you know, Aloy. I think the best thing about Horizon is the gameplay, but like Aloy as a character is pretty bland and boring. Like the whole world is going to shit, and she's just like, oh, okay. Like she has like no emotion towards anything. No type of character development, just becomes a mass murderer. But anyways, it has nothing to do with that. Turns out it's something with workplace misconduct. So motherfuckers is crazy. Rolling Stone, the outlet that broke the story about Blackman's alleged misconduct, is reporting that Horizon and Blackman's other upcoming sci-fi series, Orbital, are no longer moving forward. The report doesn't specify whether the show will continue without Blackman or both projects are dead in the water. One of Blackman's representatives responded to the report by noting that the showrunner has a long, ongoing, and close workingship relationship with Netflix and continues to work on new projects. Blackman's representative also noted that he and Netflix had signed a new multi-year deal earlier this year. Translation, there's no war in Ba Sing Se. Netflix said, we ain't fucking with you, but then he says, no, they fucking with me. There's no war in Ba Sing Se. However, it's unclear if Netflix will maintain its relationship with Blackman following the report of retaliatory and discriminatory conduct during his 4 seasons as the showrunner for the Umbrella Academy. Many of the accusations against Blackman were made anonymously because of the fear of the professional reprisal. But the Umbrella Academy Season 4 co-showrunner Jesse McNow did go on the record about Blackman's conduct. The wild part about Aloy being bland is that her voice actor, Ashley Birch, is a good voice actor. Well, I mean, voice acting has nothing to do with the script. The character being bland is the script. I'm not saying like the performance was bad. Just her character wasn't particularly interesting in terms of character development. I always sort of carried that around thinking, okay, that was clear retaliation, but he would never do that to me. It happened to me eventually and a whole bunch of other people in between. Translation, I'm a fucking coward. I was aware of this person's alleged abuse in the workplace, but I didn't do anything about it because it didn't affect me. It was only affecting the blacks and the Mexicans and the women and the gays. But once they started coming after me, I said he's not a good person. That's a crazy statement to admit to, that you're a fucking coward. Since Sony Horizon, it could be conceivable to take the series adaptation to another streamer if Netflix has passed on it, but for now, we don't know whether the project... So the project is not 100% dead, but it's probably like an 80% chance it's dead. They might find a new home and showrunner, but right now it just doesn't have a home. Yeah, what I'm saying is she can act, she's good, just her direction. Yeah, I mean, we saw that with Spider-Man, right? Andrew Garfield had a redemption arc. Andrew Garfield was my favorite part of the last Spider-Man movie, and it just goes to show you, if you have a good script and a good director, things can go a lot farther. But there's only so much you can do when you're working with shit. You could pour sugar on shit, it's still shit. You feel me? Interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care whether or not this show is greenlit or not. Like I said, I don't know if the story is interesting enough. Also, the games haven't completed, so where is it gonna go? I personally love the Horizon games, but I don't understand why they're making this. Yeah, I think the games are fun. I don't know if the stories are I don't know. I don't care. I'm indifferent. Whatever. People underestimate the power of good writing. They underestimate it. What else I got for y'all? Keep it in the realm of dinosaurs and robots and shit, like Horizon. It's a dino crisis for Capcom as it abandons the new Exo Primal content just a year after launch. If you are a fan of Exo Primal, it launched last year on Game Pass. It was the Capcom game that I said it just looked like it was dead in the water. It never had a chance. It was kind of like a PvP, PvE game where you get to control Gundams and fight dinosaurs and shit. I read this one already. Apparently, they're already abandoning the content. Translation, this game is getting sunset. It's only a matter of time before it gets shut down. The shooter launched in July 2023 as a brand new intellectual property from Capcom and an attempt to create a successful live service. Despite various updates and crossovers with other Capcom franchises such as Street Fighter, that attempt has not been successful as hoped. According to SteamDB, Exo Primal had a 24-hour peak concurrent player count of just 66 on Valve's platform, with only 41 concurrent players at the time of this article's publication. Suicide Squad has more players in this game. Suicide Squad. Did you see the Not Like Us video? Well, what are we at, chat? What number are we at? What is that, 70, 71? In terms of people asking, where are we at? Capcom said that with the release of the title update 4, all planned Exo Primal seasonal content has been finished. After Season 4, which concludes on July 11th, Season 1 will return, marking the beginning of a recycling of already released content. That's gross. I'm not reading it. We're not at 2 or 3. Y'all have already asked 100 times at the beginning of the stream. The count didn't start after I asked how many times. We're including everything. So we're at 1 million now. We're at 1 million. Capcom insists all online services will continue to be available, so Exo Primal will remain available to play despite the company essentially walking away from the game. Basically what I said, they're sunsetting the game. They're going to leave the servers on for a little bit longer, but the fact they're not, they admitted they wanted to make a live service game. They said they're not supporting it any further. 3 to 6 months, this game will be shut down. Maybe by the end of the year, probably. RIP Exo Primal, we hardly knew ye. This game was destined to fail, though. It didn't look particularly good. Have you seen the interview of the CEO of Arizona? CEO of Arizona. Are you talking about the governor? Or are you talking about Arizona T? People need to stop dick eating the First Descendant. That game's a typical looter shooter. The drinks? Nah, what'd he say? They're dick eating the First Descendant because keep in mind, 60% of gamers don't play new games. The games they do play are free-to-play games that are 6 years or older. The first Disappointment is a free-to-play game. It's new, so they're excited. Brokey activity. Nah, why should I watch an interview about a nigga in Arizona tea? I don't drink Arizona tea. I don't drink that diabetes in a bottle. It's a dope gift. Tro. What up, hippie? Avowed's combat. I got some articles for the First Disappointment as well, too. It's nothing positive. Avowed's combat wasn't ready to show at reveal, Obsidian admits, but they've made it feel more juicy. Interesting. Speaking of Windows Central, Permo noted that Obsidian had always planned to give the game's sword and sorcery component some love, but were persuaded by the reaction to prioritize this aspect before showing off Avowed again at this year's Xbox Summer Showcase. Sometimes you can lose sight on the importance of the prioritization of some things, he told the site, adding that we thought Avowed was good enough to show as is. A lot of that stuff that we knew we were going to get to before shipping. The developers took the feedback in stride. We just went, okay, let's look at this. This is a big deal. People are noticing this. We should polish this sooner. So where and how have they added some jazz? We really analyzed the feeling and moment when players swing their weapon in the moment of impact, they explained. Were there any delays? Was there any system that might have been preventing it from being immediate? The developers also looked at posing to give that visceral, immediate feedback. Posing being, in my very dim understanding of video game animation, the introduction of character poses that are designed to catch the eye and stick in the memory. We really focused on that and the blood impacts and the sound effects and the feedback, the audio. Yeah. This is interesting admitting, because like isn't this game supposed to come out this year? And they were saying the combat wasn't ready to show. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of like a yellow flag to me. Like, when is this game supposed to come out? Avowed release date. It's supposed to come out in November. Yapping ass article. Yeah, like I don't know how I feel about that. This game is supposed to come out in like a few months, and they're saying that they weren't ready to show the combat at the summer showcase. At this point in time, the game should be done. At this point in time, they should just be working on polishing the game. And if the game isn't done, it should be like 90% done. They should be polishing it because it's about to come out. And you're saying in the combat, which is a big aspect of it, they weren't ready to show. Yeah, it's kind of a red flag. I find this story interesting, not least because I'm always interested and alarmed to hear about the developers can change after showing a video game off without giving themselves tons of extra work and losing sight of what they're making. Their description sounds like it could be as elementary as changing some speed value somewhere, but it probably isn't. In my experience, every video game production, a Jenga tower where every last piece is somewhere, the one is right at the bottom. They should have just delayed it. How many combat variations are there? I don't know. Here's one thing Obsidian likely couldn't have introduced in response to the reveal trailer feedback. Avowed's choice for a third or first-person perspective, because no, it's not as simple as yanking the camera out of your character's head. Third person is definitely something that requires work to be done after you solidify and understand what game you're making, they commented. If I make a swing in first person, I now need to make a swing in third person. And another type, yeah, like you got to make multiple animations. They're now shared meshes or animations. They are different, and our system supports playing them at the same time, he went on. If you look at your shadow, you'll be able to see the same third-person animations as the first-person version. Yeah, you just yapping at that point. Every game is rushed these days. You buying unfinished products. Not every game. Definitely not every game. It's Bethesda. I will say, make sure you support the ones that are doing it good. I think what happens is, and it's funny too, because reviews come out and the reviews will tell you it's unoptimized, unfinished game, and people will still go and buy it because they were looking forward to it. And then you get butthurt and mad, and then you say there's no polished games, there's no games to play. I played plenty of polished games recently. A lot of y'all didn't play them because what? 60% of gamers don't play new games. Y'all play games that are old and free from 6 years ago. So how can you comment on something you don't play? Maybe not you specifically in the chat, but a lot of y'all don't play games and you're sitting here talking about them. You can't have an opinion you didn't play. I just wait and cop it on discount. That's the best scenario that I always say too. That's the best scenario that I say. I don't understand why people complain about the price of games or like the state of these games, because most of you are not buying them day one. Most of you are buying them 6 months out. You wait for a Steam sale. By the time you get it, the game's cheaper and it's been patched. So what are we talking about? Yeah, AC Valhalla was polished too. Yeah, that shit was ass at launch. That shit was ass. My Steam wish list is deep. Mine is too. Mine is too. People be supporting games despite the complainers and don't play it. Shit don't make no sense. Be moving ass backwards. Another Avowed article I got is the director promises no copy-paste experiences between main quests and side content. The director, Matt Hansen, previously discussed major elements contributing to Avowed's gameplay, stating companions would be critical to the title's story, combat, and moral decision-making. In short, the Obsidian team makes to make Avowed as engaging and accessible as possible for its fantasy fans, making large and smaller scale missions equally compelling. That's what I like to hear. Ghost of Tsushima type beat. In an interview with Windows Central, the gameplay director were thoroughly discussing Avowed's choices and consequences, players' freedom, companions, and the community's feedback. Additionally, they highlighted that evolving the story within the Living Lands setting will be rife with meaningful choices within large and smaller scale quests. The player is going to make a series of choices on their path in side quests and even smaller side moments that are completely up to them to discover. Patel said, which contradicts other games penchant for using filler within side content. However, Patel was confident Obsidian put the same focus into the side content as we did the main quests. We want everything that we're putting in the game and putting in front of the player to be worth the player's time. Some of these experiences are going to be larger, some of these are going to be shorter, but all of them will be distinct. None of them are going to be copy-paste experiences. They're all content that engage the player with the world and give them a chance to role-play the character. I'll be the judge of that. Yo, shout out to Bird Certified. Shout out to Envious Pride. Shout out to Life is Wallaby. All subbing. Appreciate it. Get them subs up. Don't let a black man fail. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because, I mean, they coming off the Outer Worlds. That shit was fire. I just didn't like that previous article when they said they didn't really have the animations down and the game comes out in November. Yes, they will. They will be all copy and pasted. I'll wait for the reviews. We'll see. I don't know if this is a game I'm going to get day one. I'm not like 100% sold on it. But then, you know what? It's going to be on Game Pass. So you know what? I will have it day one because I have Game Pass. This is a game I'll play. It depends on what else is out. If there's nothing else to play, I'll play it day one. But if I have something else to play that's competing with it, then I don't know. Because it's on Game